Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to FRL. We are here tonight for F1 22 action. It is F1, it is Season 16, it's round number 11 of the championship as we take in the Mexican Grand Prix from, of course, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking to the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Tuesday evening. I was going to say Friday evening for a second there. It's not the end of the week just yet, but joining me in the commentary box, as always, it is Mr. FRL, Jesse. Jesse, how you doing?
I'm doing really good, recovered from being ill last week, so that is, yeah, really good, of course. Yeah, Mexico, I haven't been there in a while. I think, it's like last game, even.
Yeah, for me, certainly, my last experience, I think, was TML F1 around here in Mexico, and that was early on, I think, last season. So it has been a long time for me, and obviously, with Mexico now marking the penultimate round of the championship as well, it's a good time to confirm what is going through in terms of the championship standings at this stage. And it's Jensen who leads the way on 173 points. Of course, he didn't actually finish last week because somebody decided to kill him through turn number 2. Jensen is still out on top though on 173 points. Macho in second on 92 points. I believe he's got a qualifying ban tonight as well. Tom there in third on 87. He is back this week. No legacy division for him. No legacy division for Jensen. I'm very happy, and that should be a very good battle for them out on track, as Tom is in third on 87. Name Changer in fourth on 83. Ivo in fifth on 75. Then Watermelon in sixth on 66. Keki seventh on 56. Ruti in fifth on Ruti in eighth, I should say, on 53. Rocco in ninth on 48. And then Bunty, who was hosting our lobby tonight, is in 10th on 47 points. And in terms of the driver standings, obviously Jensen has already won the title, Jesse. Macho and Tom, a Name Changer, and Ivo, and Watermelon, and Keki and Ruti, pretty much all involved in the battle for second. It is a very close battle. How do you think it's going to pan out on track tonight?
Of course, we saw in Monza the last time Tom participated, of course. He was really, really quick to pole in qualifying, won the sprint and won the feature, of course. So maybe he can do the same. I know it's not a sprint, just pole and the race win then. So yeah, it will be an interesting battle for sure, with Ferrari also wrapping up some consistent results the final few races.
Yeah, definitely so. I think it is going to be a very interesting race. We do have a name change, by the way, and no, it's not Mr. Name Changer himself. We have CPI_Chippy, which, if you know who I'm on about, is Mr. Chips Monster, and he has joined CPI, so congratulations to him on joining CPI, and it is a very weird name. We think of Chippy as like chip shops or chip vans or just anything to do with chips here in the UK, so Chippy is going to be taking the mick out of, I'm sure, tonight by me on the commentary, which isn't a good thing for him. It's a good thing for me, though. The UK folk that are tuning in tonight will certainly get what I'm going to be going on about. It's the Chippy and Butty song, whatever that meme is. The fat man going to the chip shop. There we are. But yeah, we're here in Mexico anyways. No fat men in chip shops here, apart from Chippy, of course, out on track. But we have got very overcast conditions early on, Jesse. First drivers are now marking their way out on track, and I believe the first man out on track is our championship leader, Jensen.
Our championship leader Jensen in AlphaTauri is out on track. They can wrap up the Constructors' Championship also tonight if they outscore Mercedes by 7 points.
Oh, interesting. I've just lost my track map, by the way, so I need to get that back very quickly. I've got the Grand Prix 2023 boot, which has literally came out in all good retailers. If you do want to get track maps and everything for commentary, like me, I literally use the track maps off this book, so it is pretty good. But yeah, the constructor standings, as you mentioned, AlphaTauri are leading the way on 212 points, Mercedes in second on 174, Red Bull third on 142, Ferrari in fourth on 141, so that could be quite an interesting battle to watch out for tonight as well. Haas there in 5th on 95, Alpine 6th on 89, Williams 7th on 67, as is Aston Martin, as is McLaren, all on 67 points, and Alfa Romeo in 10th on 37 points as well. Jensen is the first man out on track, and obviously AlphaTauri hold that advantage over Mercedes. Mercedes have got both drivers here tonight, Macho and Keki, same with Jensen and Zero, and Jensen will be hoping for better luck than last week, where his right ended at turn number 2.
Yeah, of course he will, and I am gonna check quickly the qualifying bans we have then, because...
Macho. think.
Yeah. Macho's quali then acquired 3 penalty points.
He did. I think it was 15 seconds as well, if I'm not mistaken. 10 seconds for one incident and 5 seconds for another. Saw the stewards reports for that yesterday. I thought it was a little bit harsh in my opinion, but Jensen comes through turn number 3 and has gone completely wide coming through turn number 3. That's not the great start that we want from our championship leader. He does tend to struggle around this track as well, so he might be one to watch out for, as will this man here, who I've had the privilege of commentating on in TML F1 this season, Mr. NLR Felix. The last time he was here, of course, in FRL F1, he took, of course, the win in Singapore and beat Jensen on that day as well. So the German has got good form coming into tonight. Of course, a real good advocate of the NLR team, coming now through the S section in this middle sector, and this S section can really define a lap around here. This is make or break. This can literally be a career ender or even a championship ender through that middle sector. 56.4 in the middle sector is not too bad. Would be expecting 56.2s, 56.1s towards the end of the laps as we go through the session, but Felix is now on this lap coming through the Peraltada, coming through the Ferrosol, now into the Peraltada at turn 16, and then through the right-hander at turn number 17, and on the run toward the line with Felix 1, and it's a 15.6 to start off the night, but we should be sneaking into the 114s by the end of the session.
Yeah, of course we will sneak into the 114s, I think, as we see Zero putting in a 116.4. David, of course, his return, he puts also a 116.4 in, and Bunty goes second for now.
Yeah, Bunty does go second for now. Fastest middle sector, as Marco now goes quickest with a 15.5. Fastest middle sector, I think, of everyone so far is Ruti. He's now coming through the Ferrosol section, the baseball stadium section, and he's just invalidated through turn number 14, so that's absolutely typical. Going on board, it has to happen with somebody, and Ruti does invalidate. Those track limits are very, very, very bad. Coming through the stadium section will catch people out. Name changes just started up on a lap as well. Just trying to flick on board. Keki was finishing off a lap. I think he invalidated on his run. Ivo, though, looking good.
But Tom goes for now to provisional pole.
He does indeed, 15.449, and I believe the last time we came here in TML F1, it was Jensen and Tom on the front row of the grid, and I think they were only separated by about a tenth of a second, but Tom has obviously got a lot of experience around this track, as is everyone here. I'm not assuming that anyone is driving this track for the first time, but Tom out on top, but Jensen is responding. He's through the middle sector. He's actually coming through Peraltada now at the final corner, on the run to the line, and he goes fourth for the 15.9, 5 tenths per second off so far, but Tom out on top, Marco second, Felix 1 and third, 5 minutes gone in qualifying.
Yeah, as Watermelon, he is in his lap now through the second sector. He does a 57.0 then as we enter the stadium section. Tricky section, of course, easy to maybe overdrive the curbs and take an invalid, but the Ferrari doesn't, and now then through the Peraltada, the final corner, of course, of this track, and then to the line with the Ferrari, and he goes 10th and slowest.
10th, and Keki goes second, actually, 15.5, so not a bad lap there at all from Keki. He was actually following in. Watermelon was around about 7 tenths down in the middle sector compared to Felix's middle sector, so I knew then it wasn't going to be a quick lap, but 16.6 from Watermelon. I know he's had good pace so far this season, but that's a little bit disappointing from his perspective so far.
Yeah, he should go better than this. Of course, with Ferrari in the battle for P3 in the Constructors, with Red Bull.
Yeah, and that is obviously important with that battle, as you say, with Red Bull and the Constructors. Mercedes as well on 174 points. It could catch second. Mercedes both invalidated, of course. Matcha, by the way, is still sitting in the pit lane. I believe he can't go out on track to put his setup on, if I'm not mistaken. So he has to actually try and do that somehow. Might get an outlap and then obviously come back into the pit lane. Obviously, he's not going to go for full run, but he has got a qualifying ban, as mentioned a little bit earlier on. But Tom out on top, Keki in second, Marco there in third. Chippy has just started up on a lap as well. Chips Monster now coming to the left-hander of turn number 7, in towards the S section, which is turn 7, very slow through turn 7, through 8, through the left-hander 9, and this man is not on a lap, it seems, through the right-hander 10 and 11, and then in towards what is actually called Fernandez Corner, which is actually named after the Fernandez brothers, I believe, that raced around here. One of the first ever races, I think, that they actually participated in. Of course, the Rodriguez brothers as well have formed the track. I think it was in the late 1950s that this track actually came into F1 for the first time. And certainly in recent years, we've had Max Verstappen dominate 4 out of the last 5 races, which is pleasing my Dutch compadre to the right-hand side of me.
Yeah, as we have some little issues maybe with the chat, as Flex is asking in the F1 channel why we can't chat.
Oh, I don't know.
I was seeing this issue yesterday.
Yeah, I was seeing the live chat yesterday, and it literally got turned off randomly. And I don't know. I can see the live chat feature, but I haven't updated my YouTube, so I'm assuming YouTube has just came in and said, you know what, you can't chat tonight, which is absolutely brilliant. But there we are. You just have to listen to us for the next hour and a half or so. But it's Tom out on top, it's Keki in second, Marco in third, is Zero now about to set up on his lap as well, down into the right-hander of turn number 1. To give it its full name, through the SA Moses Solana. Don't know what any of that means, but it is the corner, through turn 2 and turn 3, and then down the hill, down the slight gradient change in towards the left-hander of turn number 4, and to 28.4 in the first sector, so he's a 10th up, but Zero is off the pace compared to the likes of Felix and Marco.
He is, but he is improving a 10th on his own time.
He is indeed. I'm just going to check, by the way, the chat that is coming through. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know what's going on in terms of the chat at this stage. But yeah, I don't know. I've not got OBS on me today. This is not OBS controlled, this stream. Obviously, we've set it up through PlayStation. 210 up though from Zero in the middle sector. Hopefully, it might fix itself as we go through. If not, I can only assume it might be like an algorithm change or something. I don't know. But Zero coming through the Feather Soul in towards the right-hander of turn 16 at Peraltada, then to the right-hander of turn 17. Tom out on top, Keki in second, Marco there in third. Zero now to the line. Does improve his time, doesn't improve position, only 7,000th of a second off Bunty, as I believe Ruti and the likes have just started up on a lap as well. Jensen is certainly on one, he's through the middle sector. Actually, no, he's not, he's just preparing up for a lap.
Felix goes to provisional pole then in Aston Martin with a 1:15.221.
Yeah, that is a shame. I don't know what is being... I don't know... Yeah. Apparently the channel is made for kids.
Hmm?
Apparently the channel is made for kids.
Weird.
That's what the error is, apparently. Change for the stream, but it doesn't work. Yeah, it's really strange. It is really strange. But yeah, as you mentioned there, Felix on top to 15.2. We're trying to do 2 things at once. Sort out this in the background, and then sort what's going on out on track as well. It is a little bit of what's it called? Divergence away from the racing. Let's just put it that way. Jensen now comes through the right-hander of turn 6 and then through the right-hander of turn number 7. He's up good so far on this lap. It's Felix out on top though, Tom in second, Keki there in third. But clearly, YouTube is having a few issues potentially in terms of our streams, which is fantastic.
Not really, but let's see if Jensen can get a fantastic middle sector then.
Oh, yeah.
He's improving almost 3/10. It's a purple in the sector too as we enter the stadium section, and a crucial point in this lap for the AlphaTauri man. Can he make it to provisional pole? He needs to beat that 1:15.2 from Felix. It looks like a really good lap from Jensen, but he goes third.
Third, and Tom, by the way, is 2/10 up. He's through the final corner as well, comes to the line and doesn't go quickest. I thought that was going to be an assurance from Tom to go quickest. In the end, not, but he does improve to 15.3. Jensen there with a 15.4. Keki is also up in the middle sector. He's a 10th and a half up. Now coming through the S section through turns 10, 11. Flung off camber of the corner, invalidates coming through turn number 11. And that was just purely because of the nature of the angle that he took through the S section. Does fling you off camber of the corner, and unfortunately for him, he has invalidated his lap. Marco's just preparing up for a run. Ivor's invalidated, and Bunty is just preparing up for a run, I believe, as well. Watermelon also invalidated. Chippy is just preparing up for a run. So far, nobody on a lap apart from Bunty, who's just coming through the first sector.
Bunty then through the first sector. What can he do? Can he sneak into the 1:15s? He is not improving. He's 800 up on his time. But now the middle sector. This is a crucial point of the lap.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be really intriguing to see what Bunty can do. The sun is beginning to blast through the clouds as well, so it's going to bring the track temperature up as well. As we go through the session, Bunty invalidates through turn number 9. That's another way. If you take too much angle coming through turn number 9 and the car just over-rotates basically on the left-hand curb, unfortunately, Bunty caught out that curb and picks up an invalidation on his lap as well. Watermelon, I think, has just started on a run. In fact, he's down in the first sector. Chippy has just started on a run. He's at 28.6 in the first sector. A little bit off, and the angle coming through turn number 6 as well. We're going to speak about angles quite a lot, I think, tonight. It's my word for tonight, at least. But Chippy is not looking that great, I've got to say, on this lap. It's looked a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, but what can he do in the middle sector? Maybe he made a mistake there on his lap that he has now. I hope it for him as he goes really wide. And I think he has to back off, I think. Because of the director's note.
Oh, he's invalidated anyways. If he didn't get invalidated then, karma is quite literally a B. But Chippy there down in 12th at 120.1, and he nearly spins himself into the pit lane just for good measure as well. That is not the way you want to be attempting a lap around here in Mexico. Name changer as well, former F1 Esports Challengers man, the first time I've said that tonight, probably not the last, is just preparing up for a lap as well. Keki's back in the pit lane, so we have only got name changer now out on a lap, but now with the sun beginning to blast through the clouds, this means name changer is actually going to have probably the better part of the track, I think, at this stage. With the sun now blasting through the clouds, this means that he is now on a full run, tractor himself. This is perfect, I think, from name changer's perspective. Where can he go, though, with this lap?
That is the question, of course. He has to improve half a second if he wants to go to provisional pole position. But for now it looks clean through the first sector. DRS open. And then what will name changer do in sector 1? He is down by 7 thousandths.
He is down by 7 thousandths. Parrot, by the way, saying we think we need a new stream to chat. I could do it potentially with subscribers and everything on and get OBS up and running, but I haven't got anything loaded up, so it'd literally be about a 10-minute job for me, and I'd rather stick by watching Name Changer on this lap, and obviously you guys will want to see that as well, as Name Changer comes through the left-hander of 11. Bit hesitant through there. This is a good middle sector though, 56.3 in the middle sector, 2 tenths up, could be going around Keki, Jensen, that sort of area. Beautiful through 13, and now into the Ferrosol at turn 14, then through the right-hander of 15, then in towards Peraltada at turn 16, and then through the final corner of turn 17. Felix Hyde on top as Name Changer goes for a full-on spin. Luckily not Valtteri Bottas style in 2021, but Name Changer there round coming through Peraltada, and he is luckily back in the pit lane. Stewart, I don't think will look at that pit lane entry, to be honest, because he spun halfway through the corner.
Would be a bit weird if Stewart's looking at that, but our provisional poleman Felix is starting a lap.
He is indeed. Sadio, by the way, has fixed it apparently, so you can now chat in the comments section, which I hope is possible. Yes, it is. There we are. Yeah, I can certainly see chat messages coming through, which is good. That is all fixed. Hunky-dories. Felix now is on a lap coming through the first sector, and a 28.1 in the first sector is huge from Felix. Now through the right-hander turn number 6. As I mentioned, he was up here in TML F1 when we last came here. I think it was the start of the season, actually. Round 2, round 3 this season. Felix was so good around this track. He literally hooks up a lap around here like nobody else could. And Felix now coming through. Again, bit hesitant, but he wants to try and get the control. Now through 10, through 11. Perfect so far. Bit hesitant, but it's a very good middle sector from Felix. 55.9 in the middle sector is really electric as now the German comes alive through turn 12 into the Ferrosol 13. Nearly run wide there, actually, on the curb as Marco has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in with 2 minutes to go. But Felix now through the final corner. This would look like a really assured lap from the German on the run to the line. Is it going to break into the 14s? No! 15 flat, but a very good lap time from Felix. He's out on top. Tom has just set up onto a lap as well. I believe he comes across the line just to set up on a lap, and Jensen as well doing the same thing at this point. But Felix out on top. 0.3 of a second, Jesse, for Tom and Jensen to gain. I think that's mission impossible.
Yeah, it could be, but maybe Felix had his lap too early because of the track evaluation, of course. But yeah, can someone stop him from this pole position here in Mexico City?
Yeah, Felix has backed off that lap. Tom is actually the next one up behind him, actually, on a run. And through the first sector, 28.2 in the first sector is not too bad. The graphics glitch there, by the way, was Marco rejoining the session, which is good. He is not going to get a lap in, though. He's still in the pit lane. He's not going to get a lap in. Jensen has backed off as well. So he's going to go, I think, for another run after. He's got more than enough time to do so. Over a minute still in the qualifying session. But there, the yellow flags, you can see, everyone backing off. Either they've messed up their laps already, or they are just purely coming out the pit lane on out laps, like Ivor, like Bunty, who are on that part of the track as well. But Tom, big in the middle sector, 55.9. Apparently it's purple on my screen. I don't think that is purple on his screen, but Tom is purple anyways through the middle sector. He needs to find 2 tenths per second from somewhere in towards Peraltada, and he's got a very well-placed Alpine coming through the final corner. That might just help him along. Tom now to the line. Goes quickest, 15 flat, huge final sector from Tom. Felix is retired in the pit lane, so he's not improving. Jensen's going to go for another run, but it's Tom out on top. Felix in second. Keki, by the way, Jesse, is invalidated as well.
Keki improved 1.5 tenths through the first sector, but he invalidates. But can the AlphaTauri of Jensen stop Tom from pole position?
Well, he's on the run down towards turn number 1. I think name changes on lap coming through the middle sector, so I'll keep an eye on Jensen. And in fact, name change is just going to get a little bit of traffic there. I think that was Macho actually just coming out for an out lap to put his setup on, which I'm hoping is
Jensen
the case.
invalidates.
Turn 3? Yeah, turn 3.
Yeah.
Terrible, but name change is actually good in the middle sector. 56.4 though is miles off Tom. He's going nowhere near the top end of the field here at this stage. He might even go close to Marco at this stage. Keki is on a lap as well through the middle sector. I think he's invalidated though, if I'm not mistaken. But Tom out on top, Felix in second, Jensen third. That's the current top 3. Name changer spins again through Peraltada. Unfortunate for him, Keki's backed off on a lap. Watermelon improved up to 8. Ivor's not looking too bad in the first sector. Now through the middle sector of 10 and 11 through the S's, and now in towards Fernandez corner at turn number 12. 56.5 is an improvement, but is he going to go quicker than Zero? That is where he'll be aiming for as an AlphaTauri spun. I think that was actually Zero who crashed out on the right hand side through the right hand of turn number 12, but now Ivo coming in toward the final couple of corners through the final corner of turn number 16 of Peraltada. On the run to the line, will Ivo go quicker than Zero? No, he does actually. 15.8. I don't know what I was on about there. I thought there was a 15.8. Very good lap. Bunty as well improving. He goes 6th. Bunty goes 6th with a 15.7. Good lap from him. Davidenko as well, who's actually returning to FRL tonight as well. The Spaniard on the run to the line. He's looking quick. And goes 16.1, doesn't improve his position though, stays 11, Chippy there in 12. That, my friend, is the end of qualifying. Macho has just completed that lap to put his setup on. But Tom, out on top, Felix in second, Jensen in third. It's the top 3 I was expecting, but not in the right order.
Yeah, as we also see, apart from Macho's Qualiben, Pelly, Ruti, and Charlie didn't set a lap time at all.
Yeah, which is a real shame. Oh, I've got my PSGL assets, which is very nice indeed. Just getting tagged there by the PSGL account, which is good. But Tom out on top from Felix there in second. In the end, 200th of a second separating Tom and Felix, which was a very good performance, obviously, from them. Felix, I thought, was actually nailed on for pole, and then Tom just came out the clouds to nick pole position. But look at how far clear of Jensen they are. Jensen said he had literally 0 practice coming into tonight. It tells. 4.5 tenths off Felix, 4.5 tenths off Tom. Disappointing there from qualifying perspective from him. Keki there in 4th with Marco there in 5th. Good qualifying from him. Bunty there in 6th. Name changer there in 7th. The former F1 Esports Challengers man. Ivo in 8th. Zero in 9th. Watermelon in 10th. Davidenko in 11th. Chippy there. Hopefully he's going to have some fish for those chips later on. Pelly, Macho, Ruti and Charlie didn't get validation. Didn't get valid runs in. So they start, of course, from the back of the field. And actually, with Macho coming out pretty tactically, I've got to say, and with people invalidating as well, Macho actually doesn't start last.
Yeah, he starts in P14, which is 2 positions ahead of being last. But now we will see which tires will the driver start on.
Yeah, and looking at the comments, people are trying to have a go at me, I think, again, in terms of the weather forecast, which I am not believing whatsoever. Apparently Charlie's saying no rain for this race, which is very good. I'd rather believe Charlie more than anyone else, to be honest.
He's driving, of course, or he's just actually absolutely trolling us.
Could be. Could be. I mean, if that's anything to go by, lap 14, apparently, there could be rain as well. So we'll just have to see. There are cheering children in the background there of the camera shot on the top left-hand corner as you look to your screen, just below the European flag on the left-hand side. The Finnish flag, well invited there for name changer, and Zero, of course, bit of Finnish support there. Empty seats in the bottom, the bottom of the row as well. Another European flag, a Polish flag. We haven't got a Polish driver here, I believe, tonight, but plenty of Polish flags, actually. We've got an Australian flag supporting Voyager and Eurovision, and then the Mexican flag, of course, right in the background. Don't know why I'm putting this out, but it looks like, anyways, further down the field, we've got a Saudi Arabian flag, and it's actually going halfway into the grandstand.
But yeah, the tires, where will each driver start on? We see everybody on the hard tires, apart from Macho and Davidenko.
Interesting call. Certainly, Macho, I can understand. He's down in 14th position. He is a very quick man. He just needs to be patient, I think, in getting those moves done. As per last week, where when he really focused in that race, he did a Driver of the Day performance. Ultimately, Ball Boy somehow won Driver of the Day last week, which is totally understandable, considering it was his first win, I think, in God knows how many years. But, Macho, from your perspective, Jesse, set a medium competitised, down in 14th. If he's patient, I can see him easily in the top 10, possibly around Bunty name changer area by the end of lap 1.
Yeah, it could be. I think he will be the quickest driver for a few laps on that medium set of tires, of course. But yeah, what will be my most point, which is really interesting, of course, is Jensen from third. We normally see people that are in third place getting good starts.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously Oh, go on.
Tom is just driving far away of the fields.
Yeah, I'm on board with him, and he has taken this formation up very quickly indeed, but I think he wants warm tyres off the start. He realises the threat from... Felix spins as well. Jensen nearly got caught up in that, actually, coming through turn number 12. But yeah, Tom has really approached this formation up very quickly indeed. That has one thing in mind. Warm tyres, down towards turn number 1, doesn't want to get caught on the curb. Felix and Jensen have taken it much slower though. They have obviously got to have much warmer tyres than Tom potentially, but it depends on what start. I hope, by the way, we're not getting this camera angle off the start, because that'll be absolutely terrifying. Look at how far away the cars are, man, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
200 yards up the sudden screen!
They got to fix that.
Who's your top 3, by the way?
Felix for the win, Tom second, and Jensen third.
Interesting stuff. The 5 red lights now coming on here. We'll take it from Jensen's perspective of the race start. 5 red lights, and it is lights out, and away we go, and Tom gets a very good start. Felix bogs down off the start, and actually Bunty has got a very good start, and in the end the front 3 are absolutely away. Ivo has got up to 4th, Keki there in 6th are dropping down the field, and a bad start certainly from the mid-pack, certainly from Keki's perspective. He's lost all sorts of positions as Tom leads in towards turn number 1. Jensen there in 2nd, Felix there in 3rd. There's contact already in the background. I think that was Keki and Charlie, if I'm not mistaken, getting caught up in an instant. Mercedes there, I think, of Keki having to come across right on the circuit, nearly rejoins in front of Ruti, which he doesn't want to join in terms of the NLR man, but Tom there leads the way through the first sector. Macho tries to dive it already down the inside. What was my prediction, by the way? He'll already be in 7th by the end of lap 1. He's already in 7th even through the first sector, and Macho really coming through the field nicely on that set of mediums, but Tom leads the way. Felix in 2nd, Jensen 3rd. The front 3 pulled away off the start. In the end, Bunty, Keki got bogged down off the start, and that led to all sorts of carnage even before we reached turn 1.
Yeah, and it was for a moment a bit chaotic at the back there as we enter the S section here. Yeah, chaotic first corner, as usual, I think, here in Mexico.
And Macho's made very good ground early on. He's right on the back, actually. Name changer. He looks for the inside line as Zero doesn't want to make a finish. Contact he does. And now Macho has to take avoiding action and might actually try and go around the outside of Pavel Tarda. This would be brilliant if he can pull this off from being boxed in. Macho ran the outside of the name changer through the final corner. Job done. He's thrown his into 6th on the race start, and beautiful stuff from him. Zero completely boxed Macho in. Davenenko and Marco dropping down the field, obviously, in terms of the graphics glitch there. But Macho already through on Zero and towards turn 1. Absolutely remarkable start for Macho. Now he's in clearer. This is what the man can do. Ivo just made a slight mistake as well, just in behind. But look at the front three. They're already a second clear of Ivo. Macho's coming on to Ivo like a hot rash. And if I was Ivo on this stage, I'd be wanting Macho right through on me as soon as possible.
Yeah, Macho, as I said already in the formation lap, he is the quickest driver out there on those set of medium tires. So Ivo, I think he will not battle him too hard, as he knows Macho is so much quicker, and Ivo just needs to drive his own race.
Yeah, and look at Macho already. I'm watching him through the first sector. A little bit hesitant coming through the S section of turn number 9, but look at this. He's already on the back of Ivo. Through the middle sector split, name changer as well, on the back of Zero, running down in towards turn number 12. Marco as well on the back of Bunty was looking to the inside line there, doesn't get the job done, as Keki does get the job done on Chippy, down the inside line. No chip shop vinegar for him. Keki through and he's into 12, Chippy there in 13, Watermelon in 14. The graphic glitches are fixing themselves, by the way, which is good, as Tom there leads the way onto lap 3 from Felix in second, Jensen there in third. Very good start though by everyone. Position changes, Pelly's lost 3, had a bit of contact I think on rejoining as name changer blast past Zero down the straight, easy as you like. Of course DRS is not actually enabled until we get onto the other side of the track as Ruti now pulls the outside line and Davidenko tries to go all the way around the outside, the fin, and he gets the job done as he got caught on the curb there to Davidenko. But Ruti through and he's into 10th, Davidenko there in 11th, and Davidenko's actually still looking on the back of Ruti maybe to try and get this move back done.
Davidenko is looking, but for me his pace is a bit disappointing, as you see how many positions Macho is gaining, but Davidenko on the inside now of Ruti.
Not quite close.
And Watermelon versus Sheepy.
Yeah, Watermelon.
Section.
Yeah, Watermelon, I think, to the inside line as Zero was round. Yep, Zero was round. He's got caught up in, I think, on the curb through the left-hander turn 7. Yeah, the left-hander turn 7 has caught him out. Macho right on the back of Ivo coming to the Ferris Soul. He could try and dive it to the inside line. I think Macho, though, does have to get a little bit forceful for this move. Ivo is obviously holding him up. Macho doesn't want any more penalty points as per last week. He just wants to focus his attentions, I think, now on the back of Ivo. It should be DRS. It should be job done. Possibly down in towards turn 1. Felix is catching Tom as well, but he's not going to be quite close enough in towards turn 1. But Macho actually not using up any ERS, but he has to go for the move anyways because he's so quick down the straight. Macho just blasts past Ivo, comes across and I'm into the braking zone. Beautiful stuff. He's into 4th, and Macho definitely proving the doubters wrong. So far, so good from Macho. This is the Macho that we like to see.
Really good pace from him. But talking about ERS, look at the ERS difference on the front. Look at Tommy's ERS.
86% of ERS Tom has got. Felix has got 56%, so 30% less. As Tom actually goes deep in towards turn number 6 there, through the double right to turn 6. Just about lost a bit of time there. Felix just recognised that, thinking, I might catch you out next time. But Tom, now through the S section, just has a much better setup compared to Felix in behind. Felix can't keep up through the corners, so that means Felix has got to try and catch it down the straight. And maybe he'll just try and force that move earlier than necessary. Macho, by the way, is already catching up to the back of the front 3 as well. But name changer on the back of the Ivo is looking like the next move, I think, down the straight.
I think so as well. We see Ivo losing many times. Of course, Macho passed him in lap number 4. And he's already 2 seconds behind the Mercedes name changer in the Alpine then. With the DRS enabled down the inside, not even down the inside. He is through up into P5.
Yeah, very easy stuff from name changer. Through he goes. Bunty as well on the back of Ruti, who goes deep in towards turn 1. Keki on the back of Davidenko, who's trying to make good ground, but the Spaniard is not making much progress through the field at this stage of the race, which is disappointing because Keki's right on the back of him, and actually Keki might go for the move around the outside and towards turn number 4. This will be a bold and brave and brilliant move. He can pull this off. Davidenko catches on the curb. Keki on the inside line tries to get the move done. If I was Keki, I'd just sit and waiting behind, and that's exactly what he does as Davidenko stays 10th. Keki there in 11th, but Keki had to go for the move somehow. If Davidenko didn't catch that curb, I think that could have been move done from Keki.
Yeah, and Keki had a little bit of a moment there, actually, entering the S section. But yeah, Davidenko, he's not quick on those medium tires. He's 1 second behind Bunty.
Yeah, answer, by the way, in the comment section saying what happened to Keki. Keki, I believe, got caught up in an incident. It was either with Charlie or with Pelly, I think. It was either an Alpine or an Aston Martin. I think it was the Alpine of Pelly, potentially. He got caught up in an incident. I don't think he's got any damage. He would have been in the pit lane by now if he did. But Keki there, down in 11th. Disappointing from his perspective. He has only lost a couple of positions, though, off the race. He's lost a good few positions off the race start as Felix is catching Tom there in towards turn number 1. The German on the back there of the Brit. Macho there now in 4th. But all of the hard work, I think, has been done out of those tyres. Macho, from this point onwards, from certainly around lap 8, lap 9, those mediums will begin to suffer. And Macho has got to make hay, basically, of his tyres. He goes again deep in towards turn number 4. That is not ideal for Macho, because he's using up more tyre wear than necessary as Keki gets the job done on Davydenko through turn number 4. I think that was the inside line there from Keki, and he does get the job done indeed. But Macho there in 4th, now on the back of Jensen. He's used up, I think, too much of those tyres, because I don't think he's going to make much progress on the back of Jensen and Felix.
Yeah, we see him struggling a little bit, as there was a little battle going on between Keki and Davydenko, but Keki is up into the points again, which is important for the Mercedes team, of course. With 0 in 15th, and Chippy is round.
Yeah, Chippy is round indeed. One too many chips for him, down in 15th position. he might have to lay them all on the table potentially. That's a poker reference, by the way. But Chippy there in 15th is round. Unfortunate for him. Pelly there down in 16th. But Tom there leads the way. Felix there in 2nd. Jensen in 3rd.
Marco.
Next move coming up is Marco to the inside line. Down the straight. Gets the job done, passing Ivo. Ivo looks very slow down the straight, I've got to be honest. And the McLaren easily through, and he's there into 5th position. Into 6th position, I should say. But he has got that 3-second penalty overhanging him so far after, I think, a 3-second penalty picked up on lap 2 or lap 3.
Yeah, I thought it was like in P4, 4 laps ago actually, I think. And now he's down into P7. Wow.
Yeah, it is a real shame indeed. Looking through... Oh, I got tagged in something, I was just looking, sorry.
Davydenko made the move on Keki again, so he is in P10 now, but they are 2 seconds behind Bunty, who's in P9 of course. But yeah, Ruti, he's also very close to Ivo, who seems like he's very slow.
Oh, Keki puts a 3-second penalty up. He's right on the back of Davydenko. This is really good battle actually, watching them ball with these two. Now Keki pulls the inside line, much better on the brakes, gets the job done. He just had a bit of a moment, and that's why, as he nearly has a moment through turn number 12. Just about holds a position, but now Waterman on the back, Charlie on the back as well. This is a 4-way fight with championship implications for certainly for Mercedes and Ferrari in terms of the constructors. They have got to try now fight it out on track between these guys. The top 4 remain as they are: Tom, Felix, Jensen and Macho. 3 seconds clear now of Name Changer, who's going nowhere quickly. But Davydenko now blasts past once again Keki down the straight to the inside line of turn number 1. Keki though says no, thank you very much, I'm going to come back through to the inside line. Brilliant stuff by Keki, has a bit of a moment, and that is game over for him. Davydenko through, and he's into 10th. Keki rejoining circle. Waterman's got to give him room on rejoining, and in the end the goal scene system I think just comes back into play. Charlie looks to the inside line, doesn't attempt the move, and Keki in the end, again, his rear end really kicking out there, cost him the move, and now has lost 2 positions as a result. But Davydenko, really good smart reaction timing there from Davydenko.
Yeah, and Charlie, he's also close behind those group. But yeah, he has the most amount of ERS, he's almost 100%.
Yeah, definitely so. Apparently, it looked as if the live chat scenario that happened a little bit earlier on, it might have been caused by one of the moderators, potentially, who had access to the channel. I wonder who it could be. But Tom out on top from Felix there in 2nd, Jensen there in 3rd. Could be the man in P4 that I was referring to. Macho on the back of Jensen. 5/10 of a second on the back of him, and he looks to the inside line. Maybe, and look at the closing speed. Macho, he has to use up all of that ERS. His fuel light is flashing to the inside line. Shades of last week. Jensen sees it coming. Macho through, and he's into 3rd. And Jensen was too smart there to let that move not go, and Jensen in the end might have to come back at him in towards turn number 4. But in the end, Macho, smart, through, and he's into 3rd. Jensen want to avoid contact. That is how they should approach things out on track. In the end, what happened last week was unfortunate. Ruti goes to the inside line of Ivo as I cut myself off as Ruti dives to the inside line, gets through and he's into 7. But Macho and Jensen, I thought it was going to be shades of last week. In the end, not. Jensen realising he does not want a second bit of contact with Macho. Otherwise, he could end their races. And then the championship finals, Macho has a huge moment through the S section.
Macho's tyres are really hurting. He will pit soon, I think, in around 5 laps time on those medium tyres. But yeah, they are almost 3 seconds off as Watermelon is round, I think.
He is round indeed. Watermelon through turn number 9, and Macho was looking on the back. Oh my god, Jensen looking on the back of Macho. Macho is going to be in the wall at this point. If he puts too much throttle down on that, too much power down on that throttle, it is game over for Macho. As Jensen is going to breeze past him, shooting down the straight. Macho though has got good straight line speed. Now we get the battle. In the end, it's going to be easy as Jensen saunters past Macho down the straight. He is through and he's into 3rd. Felix attacking Tom in towards turn number 1 as well, is not close enough. But Jensen there 3rd, Macho there in 4th. And again, we get the same repeat as last week. They've at least made it further than last week, let's just put it that way. But look at the gap that they've lost to Felix and Tom. That is the conservation of ERS coming into play, and that is just Tom and Felix being quicker than Jensen and Macho out on track by an absolute mile.
Yeah, it seems like the battle for the win here in Mexico will be between the Red Bull Tom and the Aston Martin of Felix, and Watermelon is into the pit lane. He had front wing damage, of course, after that spin, and now he's in P16.
Yeah, that's unfortunate from his perspective. Bunty on the back of Ivo's looking now quite quick, actually. Bunty on the back as Tom picks up a 3-second penalty. That was coming through turn number 12. Right-hander at Fernandez corner into the final sector. That is where he's picked it up, so a 3-second penalty picked up from him. And now Tom has got to react to that. If I was in Tom's shoes with 100% of EOS, I'd be trying to burn that battery to my heart's content, pull away from Felix, try and grab 3 seconds out on track before the pit stops happen, which will be, I'm assuming, around about lap 20, lap 21 onwards. We are getting, by the way, to the lap 14 memorandum that somebody put in the comment section about the weather. I can definitely tell you, as much as on the back of Jensen, it's not going to rain on lap 14, so you're fine.
Just another troll. As Bunty overtook Ivo for P8, and Keki is through up into P10, and he locks up again in turn number 1.
Yeah, he is not liking that setup at all, is Keki. The Finn down in 10th position. He's doing a good job. Davidenko was there around him. And Davidenko, to be fair, you would assume he has probably worn his tyres by now. He's keeping up actually pretty good, and those tyres look pretty fresh actually on the front right. Certainly, that takes the bearing load, and normally it's around 5-6% average on that set of mediums, 4-5% average on that set of hards. So therefore, Davidenko's tyres would, you would assume, be around about 50-55%. Tom and Felix, however, they're having a really grand old time out in front, and Tom is beginning to try and pull away that gap. He's used a bit of EOS, just trying to split the pack there from Felix. These guys, of course, will, I hope, be racing tomorrow night in, on Thursday night, I should say, in TML F1, which you can catch live on League Racing TV. While I'm at it, Tom out on top from Felix in 2nd. If Felix is not as quick as Tom, which is obviously evident now, does he come into the pit lane and trigger Tom to come in earlier?
I don't think you would make it with this, with the amount of laps remaining on that set of mediums, of course, or you have to do a 2-stop. But yeah, Macho also with that old tyres, compared to Jensen, picks up a 3-second time penalty. But I wanted to say, he's keeping up good with the Fantarry.
Yeah, he is keeping up really good as well, and Macho's looking to the inside of Jensen. Oh, I thought we were going to get shades again of last week, but 3rd and 4th position, they are men as they are. And I think, to be honest, Macho and Jensen, on their day, they are 2 very respectful drivers. They are 2 drivers that want to do well. They want to succeed. Going forward, Jensen, I know, has qualified for F1 Esports Challengers recently this season as well. And Jensen has got that firm focus in mind. Macho, if he can really put his mind to it and really grasp that mentality of wanting to win and to be a winner, he could go F1 Esports next year. And I'm not even kidding. F1 Esports Challengers, that will be on his hit list. Obviously, he's got to gain up in terms of the pace, but he is competing. Oh, as he lags there into the wall on my end, goodness me, as Macho, on the back of Jensen, is on the back of an F1 Esports qualified, F1 Esports Challengers qualified driver. He doesn't realise that. I do. And Macho's on the back of Jensen. Possibly is overtaking him in towards turn 1. Here he goes to the inside line. This time pulls alongside. Is Jensen going to fight this much? Yes, he is. To the outside line. Now we get the wall we saw in America. To the inside line. Jensen just about holds sway. Macho keeps the nose in, but in the end backs out. And that's what we like to see. Jensen there in 3rd. Macho there in 4th. Don't want to put each other at risk. Beautiful racing between them both. And Jensen in the end comes out on top.
And if they keep up with this fighting, maybe Name Changer can come into play. The gap is only 1 second to Macho.
Yeah, Name Changer as well has a little bit of allegiance to Jensen as well. He is teammate of Jensen in TMLF1, and he will possibly work, I think, with him rather than against him, because the AlphaTauris, of course, are on top in terms of the constructors. Look at the gap, by the way, for the lead of the race. 1.4 seconds. Tom has broken Felix out of ERS range and of DRS range. That is perfect from Tom's perspective. Now he can put a little bit of ERS back in that battery and then try and go again, maybe to break him outside of 3 seconds. Felix, though, has got to respond somehow. He's obviously not going to come in the pit lane this lap around, but Felix, in my opinion, I think has got to come in early, try and force his tyres to go as much as possible. But even then, it is going to be a real darn struggle from Felix's perspective, and it looks like Tom is running away with it.
And Name Changer, he is in the DRS of Macho. And yeah, Macho's tyres are really hurting. I think he will pit this lap or next lap.
Who, Macho would?
Yeah.
Yeah, Macho, I mean, to be honest, I'm looking at his front right, and the front right normally takes the bearing load around this track, especially with the rears as well. I can't see a black line coming through the centre of the tyre. Oh, I now count on the rears, just on the left-hand side where the tyre is. That's normally, I think, normal, though, on this game. Macho, though, there's no middle, there's no basically black line going through indicating that there's blistering going on. And if that's the case, he's taken those first 6 laps pretty well indeed, being aggressive and not really going for his tyres. His watermelon is through on Pelly on the other side of the track in towards turn number 1. But Macho there in 4th, doing a great job. He's got to have to watch out for this. Felix is now losing more and more time to Tom. Tom leads the way. Felix in 2nd, they continue on for another lap. But is Macho going to come in the pit lane? The answer is no.
But yeah, Tom, 2 seconds the gap already since he broke the DRS to Felix. I think if he keeps up with this pace, no safety cars or bad luck coming, he will win this.
Keke on the back of Ivo was going to be quite close down the straight, 3.5 tenths per second. In the end, Keke is not using up any DRS at all to try and get this job done. Ruti coming on the back of Marco just in the foreground of shot, but Keke not enticed by this battle whatsoever. If I was in his shoes, I want to get past Ivo and then put Davydenko under a bit of pressure as well. And Keke, through the right-hand return number 3, now gets on the ERS, now gets on the power, and is going to absolutely blast past him to the inside line of turn number 4. Well-worked move there by Keke. He knew what he was doing. I knew what he was doing as well. He's into 9th.
Yeah, and Ivo's just dropping down the field further and further. He's in P10 now, and then imagine that he was in P4 at the start of this race.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for that mistake that he had a little bit earlier on with Keke, with Pelly as well, getting caught up in that slight incident, Ivo, I think, has just purely dropped down, though, in terms of pace. His pace is nowhere near anyone around here so far. Discipline from his perspective, but he has got to be very thankful that he's got Davydenko 2 seconds behind. Is he going to catch that gap? I don't know. But if he does, then obviously he's going to be under pressure as Macho once again on the back of Jensen, running down the straight. Marco, interestingly, has spent in the pit lane and retired out of a point-scoring position.
Okay, that one is really weird.
I mean, if you can't make the race, just bloody tell us.
Or don't race.
Oh, don't race. Yeah, there's more point. We're not even halfway through and he's retired. We're not even halfway through and he's retired. Davydenko, by the way, the only other runner on a set of mediums, has come in for a set of hard compound tyres, so he is into the pit lane. The McLaren of Marco's AI car is coming right out the pit lane in front of him as well, and he has to take avoiding action coming out the pit lane. And I don't blame him, to be honest, because I saw that, and I thought Marco was still in control of his car coming through as he leaves the session. I don't know what he was thinking, to be honest. If he has to go somewhere, fair enough, but there's ways and means. But Yeah, it's a weird one. Tom leads the way, Felix in second, Jensen third, Davydenko, by the way, on that sort of hard compound tyres. Stewards will have a look at that, obviously, in terms of the pit entry. I've certainly caught it on my stream, but in my eyes, that car was not ghosted whatsoever. I saw that physically with my own eyesight as well. That car was not ghosted, so therefore Davydenko, in my opinion, had to take avoiding action.
Yeah, but yeah, Davydenko, he's now close behind Shippy for P12 in this race. And yet Tom is almost 3 seconds gone.
He is. Tom is just so quick compared to Felix. He's gaining about half a second a lap at this stage. Macho's on the back of Jensen in towards turn number 4. Is the Mercedes going to be close enough for the move? I think he will be to the inside line at turn number 4. He's 6 of those down the inside line. Jensen in turns goes a little bit too deep. Jensen actually might be under pressure on Macho to get a switchback out of turn number 6 in towards turn number 6 now. And in the end, Jensen just about closes that Mercedes-shaped gap. And in the end, Jensen stays in third. Macho there in 4th. And Macho picks up a 3-second penalty on the outside of turn number 7. He's in the wall! He's in the wall! And Macho has spun by himself. Right side and plate damage on the car. I think he's got a T-tray more than likely. The Haas going through there, Bunty in the background. But Macho, he didn't deserve that at all. He got caught in that outside curb. That outside curb has then led him to go into the wall. Right side end plate damage on the car. He didn't deserve that at all. He was driving so well. And in the end, Macho, Mexico punishes the unpunished again. He goes for a spin through the middle section. And he's broken his front wing as well. That could deploy a VSC or a safety car. And yeah, Macho's race has gone from bad to worse in the space of 30 seconds. As Ruti's in the pit lane, probably predicting that there was going to be a VSC, but there's not. That is probably more for track position now.
Yeah, but for now I think AlphaTauri are Constructors Champions.
Are they?
Let me check.
Remember, Jensen still has to come in the pit lane, so I wouldn't get ahead of yourself too early.
Let me check.
Macho, by the way, just while you check, has gone on to a set of soft compound tyre, and that is a very, very intriguing call. He knows that the constructor standings are obviously on the line, and wants to go for fastest lap point, which is absolutely in play, but in the end, he's lost more than 30 seconds. It's not a 30-second pit stop, and yeah, Macho out of contention, and he even nearly loses it coming out of turn number 1. He is not a happy bunny.
And as I said, the gap is exactly 7 points now at this moment in this weekend.
So will they actually win it, or do they need 8? As Felix is in.
Felix into the pit lane. He is, I think, aiming then for the undercut on Tom.
Yeah, it has to be 3.5 second penalty. A 3.5 second penalty? 3.5 second gap, I should say, between Tom and Felix. That, however, is pretty smart from Felix. If Tom doesn't come in the pit lane next lap around, he's going to try and overcut Felix. But Felix will be within 3 seconds of him. So that is a smart play by Felix. He was 3.5 seconds behind coming in the pit lane. Tom's got that 3-second penalty. There's a good chance as well from Tom's end into the yellow flag, and that's Macho again round through turn number 12. It's got an absolute disaster from Macho's perspective. He's down there in 14. He may as well come in the pit lane and retire, I think. He's not going to be going anywhere quick. But Tom leading the way. Is he going to come in the pit lane this lap around? I don't know, as Macho again has crashed through turn 16. And he is one very, very angry man right now.
But he is continuing on. That is good attitude from him.
Tom's in.
And Tom goes in.
Tom's into the pit lane. Oh, and he nearly oversped the pit lane as well. That was close. That was 49 mile an hour, I think I put that out now. So it's a mile an hour under. And Tom now into the pits. Name changer also realising that fact. He comes in the pit lane as well. Felix, by the way, is only coming through the FRL. This is going to be pretty decent from... It's going to be less than 3 seconds, but this is good from Tom's perspective. He can now try and gap up, and if he's ahead of Ivo, that is going to be really helping. And he is. Tom is ahead of Ivo, coming out the pit lane. The gap is 3.7 seconds, so somehow, Jesse, Tom has gained 0.3 of a second coming out the pit lane.
And Macho is round again, but yet Tom, he is now on cold tyres. Felix, he is on warmer tires than Tom at the moment, so this is the time for the Aston Martin to close in.
But he's got a bit of traffic, and Ivo's going nowhere quickly. Ivo's going to be a lot quicker than Tom at this stage, obviously with the mediums not being warmed up. But Felix is behind. He's going to be gaining a second a lap, I think, on the back of Felix. He's going to also be gain what, half a second a lap, I think, on the back of Tom. So it's not over and done with yet. Ivo needs to try and push on as possible. If he doesn't come in the pit lane, this is going to bring Felix a whole heap of trouble out on track that he doesn't really need at this point. But look at the gap. Felix is catching still on this lap. The mediums don't come on until the final sector around here, just because of the short nature of the lap. And look at the gap now, 2.6 seconds. Jensen's going to be miles behind coming out the pit lane, and he even could get undercut from Name Changer, which would be absolutely terrible from his perspective, as Ivo is still continuing on. So the ploy from the Ferrari team is stay out and get Felix potentially under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, Ivo can be a big trouble here for Felix. But yeah, Jensen is into the pit lane. Will Name Changer get ahead? It will be close into turn 1. But Jensen for now is ahead.
But turn number 4 is going to be crucial. This section is going to be crucial. There's a yellow flag, and that's Macho around again, I think, through the middle sector. Or was that Keck? No, I thought it was Kecky. Name Changer always on the back of Jensen. Look at this, on the back. Running up towards the left-hander turn number 4. He's got slipstream. Has he got the speed, though, to try and get the move done? Around the outside he goes on Jensen. These two are very fair and love and war. To the inside goes Name Changer. Brilliant stuff by Name Changer. That is why he's an F1 Esports Challengers man. Former F1 Esports Challengers man. Overtakes an up-and-coming F1 Esports Challengers man. Brilliant stuff. Great racing. Name Changer through. Jensen there. And Ruti, who I've just spotted right on the back of these guys as well, is there.
Felix is through on Ivo then, but will Ivo come back on the Aston Martin, or will he pit this lap then? No, Felix is ahead into 3rd place, and Tom, he's in the DRS of Keki.
He is in the DRS of Keki indeed. Name Changer's just within the DRS range of Charlie as well. And is Tom going to get the move done down the straight on the back of Keki? Ideally, he needs to, just to try and force Felix now into a bit of pressure to the inside line. And in the end, Keki, I think, might just dive out the way. Defends the inside line. I thought he was diving out the way. To the inside line now for Tom at turn number 2. Keki is hanging on, but doesn't hang on enough. It's Tom through, and he's into the lead of the race. And Keki, once he put himself as Name Changer, goes for the move on Charlie very late towards turn number 1. The Alpine now gets the job done on Charlie, and in the end Charlie has came right into the path of Jensen, and Jensen is probably remonstrating right now at Charlie, saying, just get out of the way, man, you don't belong in this battle, just get out of the way. Jensen now, Charlie does let him through, and he lets Ruti through as well. Fair play to him. Jensen 5th, Ruti there in 6th, and in the end Charlie probably heard me more in the commentary box more than anything, telling him to get out of the way. He did. Fair play, because that is a battle for 3rd going on.
Yeah, and Ivo, he's even behind Davidenko, but yeah, he is, of course, on the mediums, which will be quicker, hopefully, for Ivo. Yeah, will Keki pit this lap? I think he will.
Has to, unless he goes to the softs to the end.
And Macho will retire, I think.
Yeah, I'm assuming he'll retire in this pit box. No, he's going to the mediums. Interesting. Very intriguing. And I think he had a front wing change there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So Macho into the pit lane, and Charlie's also into the pit lane as well. So Charlie's in. He's going to be fighting with Chippy and Watermelon, I think, in around that battle. But yeah, Tom leads the way. Keki there in 2nd. Keki is hanging on, and to be fair, actually, Keki is not losing as much time as what I would have expected at this stage in the race.
Yeah, Keki in 2nd, then he will have the freshest medium tires of the medium runners, of course. So maybe that will be maybe be an advantage for him, as Macho's again round. It's a horrible race for him.
I've just been friend requested by a random person, and I don't know who it is. Tom's out on top, Keki there in 2nd, Felix there in 3rd. If you are that random person in the chat, thank you very much. But Felix there is on the back of Keki. And Jensen's out the race! Jensen is out through the S section, through turn number 8 to 9, and that's a safety car. Safety car out on track, and guess who that saves? Mr. Keki.
And I think who is angry in his car right now is Mr. Tom.
Tom would be angry. Yeah, to be honest though, he still holds the lead of the race.
Felix is pitting.
Really?
Felix is pitting.
And Macho's crashed out on track as well.
Name changer, he's continuing on.
And, sorry to cut you off, Macho has crashed on the left-hand side, in the wall, right on the left-hand side of the track. Literally, I think has straight-lined it.
Bunty's staying out, though. I don't think this is the right call from Felix.
No. No.
I don't think so. Look at the field which he needs to overtake. He needs to overtake Keki, Bunty, Ruti, Name Changer, and then he is at Tom. And maybe Tom is already 3 seconds gone then.
I get your point, but I'm looking at it from a team perspective. NLR have got 4 drivers in the top 6. Now, surely, they are all in the same party at this point. Surely there is going to be some sort of absolute... I don't know what it is. It should be a ploy, I think, from the NLR boys. If I know the NLR boys quite well, like I do in EML, these guys will work for every single point. And they'll work for each other out on track. So Keki and Felix have came into the pit lane. They're on fresher tyres. You've got Name Changer and Ruti right in behind Tom. Surely there is something in you from an LR perspective to just completely rip up the rulebook and put Keki and Felix second and third, Bunty then out the way, and then Keki and Felix can focus on catching Tom for the race win, because that is how I'm imagining this race will go now.
Yeah, it will be really, really interesting if it's the right call. 4 laps younger tyres than Tom, of course. Tom with that 3-second time penalty. But the question then is, how many warnings does Felix has?
Felix, I don't know. I probably don't want to press the pause button in case I disconnect the stream or something, so I'm not even going to bother. I can only assume Felix has only got, what, 1 warning? 2 warnings, I'm tempted to say?
We will see. But yeah, it will be really interesting, of course, as we are waiting still on Davydenko, Shippy, Watermelon, Zero, who is now alone fighting to get the Constructors title here in Mexico, which seems like it will be very unlikely, looking at his position.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just going to quickly, as that Chippy's picked up a 3-second penalty, I'm just going to quickly go blue screen and see who's friend requesting me at this stage. Yeah, everyone wants to be my friend, which is ridiculous. Apologies that we are going blue screen. I think the safety car is not going to be in this lap, so that's why I'm doing it now. Rui Rhinus, who I think I know from FRL, and Drox, who I've seen in the chat. So there we are.
Rhinus is banned, I think.
Rhinus is banned. He's getting nowhere near FRL if he's banned. I'll just say that on stream for everyone to know.
And not to your friendlies.
Oh. Lixer's back as well. Oh, Lixer's actually Ruby Rhinus. I've just fired in the chat. Thank you for friend requesting me. I'm probably not going to accept your friend request in any time, in any given time, but still, we are on that 26 out of 36 out on track. It's Tom out on top, from Name Changer there in second, Ruti there in third, Bunty there in fourth, with Keki and Felix in sixth, Ivo in seventh. Charlie's actually in a very promising position now, in 8th along with Davydenko in 9th, Chippy there in 10th, Watermelon 11th, Zabel there in 12th, and then Pelly down in P13. If Ruby is after me for commentary, unfortunately, I only have one free day, that's a Sunday, and unfortunately, I do stuff on a Sunday, and I've got a commentary coming up on Sunday anyway, so I'm going to be busy every single day, every single night that you can imagine. I'll be busy on commentary, sadly, so if it is a temptation, then no, is the answer. I know what they're trying to get at. I'm too nimble. I'm like a fox. I'm too nimble. I can spy what people are trying to do to me. Terrible. Anyways,
you get it. It's going to rain.
If it's gonna rain, then it's impossible because it's blue sky. It's bloody sunshine out on track. And if you think it's gonna rain, then I don't know where you belong. Terrible. But Tom, yeah, leads the way. Name changer in second, but back to the action. what is going to happen in the safety car restart? Tom, I'm assuming, is going to back up the pack. And with the NLR train, as I'm going to call it, in behind, Tom has got to be worried, I think, if the safety car is in this lap. Tom, I think, has got to be worried by the NLR boys. Not so much Name Changer and Ruti, certainly Keki and Felix.
Yeah, it will be really interesting, of course. But yeah, he will go late, of course, to avoid as many of the slipstream down the straight. Or they will go early and surprise everyone. That's the question now.
Yeah, it is going to be intriguing. Tom coming through. Peraltari's already gone in towards Peraltara. I was going to say he could go on the exit of the curve, but he might actually... Yeah, great restart from Tom, and look at the gap already to second. As I say, he didn't have to worry about the NLR boys in the end, as Chippy has actually spun through the final corner, so Chippy has spun. Obviously, some salt spilt on the track there, I think. He's down there in 13th position. You'll get that one if you're British. Zabel's on the back of Watermelon as well, and now looks to the outside line of turn number 1. Is the Finn going to attempt the move on the Dutchman? And in the end, Watermelon doesn't put any seeds on the track and plants himself in 10th position.
And looking at the gap of the leader, Tom is already 3.5 seconds clear of Felix, and Felix has to go through this pack.
Yeah, but again, if they're in the same party, is there not anything that Keki could do? Keki could move out of the way of Felix, but then again, they're getting held up by Bunty. Both of them are getting held up by Bunty, and Keki went very wide there, coming through turn number 6. Now through 7, then towards the SS section at 8, 9, 10, and 11. Ruti on the back of Name Changer looking quick. Keki looking on the back of Bunty looking quick as well. But nobody has gone anywhere really at this stage. Tom though leading the way from Name Changer there in second. Ruti there in third. Keki though on the back of Bunty wants to try and get this move done sooner rather than later. Of course, DRS is not going to be enabled until we get onto lap 29 and until we get into the final sector.
Yeah, as Tom now gets the fastest lap of the race, 177.78, which is good, of course, for the battle with Ferrari. And Keki passes Bunty.
Just pure straight line speed from Keki to get that move done. A bit of ERS usage, didn't need that much, and he's into fourth. Breezed past him down the straight. Bunty there in fifth, doing there a good job. But Tom there leading the way from Name Changer there in second, from Ruti there in third, Keki there in fourth, Bunty there currently in fifth. And then on the back, Davidenko's looking quite close to the back of Charlie. I think everyone has really remained, apart from Chippy's spin, I think everyone has actually remained in position as what they were in the safety car restart, which comes to show, A, our drivers are good, and B, you should get better.
Yeah, but yeah, Ruti, he is also close to Name Changer, of course, for P2. But yeah, Ruti has a 3-second time penalty, I think. Yeah, 9 seconds of time penalties Ruti has. So yeah, but now the biggest question is, can Name Changer win the Mexico City Grand Prix?
Yeah, 1.2 seconds off, and Tom, to be honest, is not really gaining as much time as what I would have expected him to. Felix, by the way, is right on the back of Bunty. Keki got that move done on Bunty. He's now pulled away into that gap, and Felix, in the end, is getting caught completely back in the wash, and the German now has to try and go for the move. Look at Bunty down the straight. Bunty is quick down the straight because he's using up ERS. I think he's drained all of that battery. Felix can't catch back up, and Felix, I think, has been too conservative with this. He needs to go for the moves, and he needs to get onto the back of his DRS train. Otherwise, he's going in absolute no man's land.
Yeah, and Keki is already a second gun on Bunty, so he's going quick as well. And yeah, Keki for now will be ahead of Ruti.
Yeah, Felix on the back of Bunty again through turn number 5. Not looking to get the job done there, but he is on the back of him. He's literally tucked right underneath that rear wing of Bunty at this stage, and he needs to try and get the job done. If not now, when is it going to be? Possibly down the straight, maybe in towards turn number 1, but if he gets a better run coming out of here, which Bunty actually excels, coming through the S section, Felix again can't catch back up. He has got the pace, but he's not using up his ERS, so he's not really helping himself.
Yeah, and if it stays like this, of course, with Bunty staying ahead of Felix, Felix is gonna come nowhere.
Yeah, Felix is going to come nowhere indeed as Rusi's run on the back and Name Changer down the straight, and I think this is going to be a move potentially for second position. Keki in the end is not even catching up to the back of these guys and is going to let these guys go to walls. Rusi pulls the inside line on the Alpine. He's into second, and that actually now puts it into perspective. Felix is also through on Bunty. That now really puts it into perspective, Jesse. Are they working for each other, the NLR boys? Because they're now together out on track, or are they actually not caring about that and just going for themselves? Because I get the impression that they're going for themselves.
Yeah, I don't know, it will be really interesting, of course, if the NLR boys are working together or not. Because Felix, he is now closing, and another 3-second time penalty for Tom. Is his win gone now by this?
Yeah, and Name Changer doing a good job at this stage, but he is dropping time. Rusi's getting away from him. Bunty picks up a 3-second penalty, so that helps out Felix's cause as well for a potential podium finish later on in this race, as Keki is on the back of Name Changer. Former F1 Esports Challengers man is under pressure. Has he got anything left on those tyres to try and fight Keki at this stage? Keki's on 6-lap all mediums. They're easily going to get to the end of the race. Name Changer's set of mediums already wearing. The rear right you can see on board with Keki. He's going to breeze past him down the straight, but you can see the blistering already occurring on that rear right. That is not good news from Name Changer's perspective, but Keki breezes past down the straight, gets the job done. He is through ahead of Name Changer, and he's into third, and now looking at Ruti for second, and do you know what? Even might go for the race win on Tom.
Yeah, but of course that 9-second time penalty will block him a bit from winning. And now, with this pace from Felix, of course, newer tyres, then Name Changer's tyres, maybe Felix can still win it then.
Yeah, he could still win it. He could still win it indeed. Keki is pushing Ruti around a little bit now through this middle sector, through 6 and 7. But Tom leading the way, 2.1 seconds, and Name Changer, if he's got a 3-second gap, he has to get on with things, because that gap is now just creeping over 3 seconds, and Name Changer does not have the pace at this stage to try and live with the guys. Even though Ruti's got 9 seconds, Name Changer will end up on the podium, but he's not going to be ending up in race winning position as it stands. There are the penalties, by the way. Tom on 6 seconds, actually. 6 seconds worth of penalties. I thought there was only 3, but 6 seconds worth of penalties. Ruti on 9, Keki on 3, Name Changer on nothing, Bunty's on 3, Pelly on 3, and Chippy on 6. All the penalty situation at this stage. So that means Name Changer has actually got 3 more seconds to play with, even though I think he's still going to lose those 3 seconds.
Yeah, and I think Felix will overtake him soon as well, looking at Name Changer's pace, which is not really great. And Felix, of course, on new tyres, he's really close to the Alpine.
Yeah, Felix right on the back of Name Changer, turning down the straight, and now in towards turn number 4. He's going to have to literally launch this to the inside line. But in the end, again, Felix cautious. Doesn't want to go for a move that's not going to be his. And this is what I like about his driving style. He doesn't go for aggressive moves. He's not your macho. He is not any sort of driver like that. He just waits for his moves. But in the end, in races, he becomes too conservative. And this is exactly what he has done tonight. He's become too conservative. Ruti picks up another penalty. That now adds, and Keki picks up another penalty as well. So that's good news for Name Changer and Felix. Also good news for Ivo potentially to get into a top 5 finish. But Tom leads the way, Ruti in second, Keki in third, and Felix on the back of Name Changer. Pelly picks up a penalty further down the field as well. But Felix on the back of Name Changer, he's becoming too conservative for these moves. He needs to get the job done. If not now, when?
Yeah, that's the question. He's now for a couple of laps behind Name Changer, and he has much more pace.
Keki pulls the inside line, and Ruti absolutely dummied him. Pretty much through the pit lane exit there to the inside line, gets the job done. Keki through and he's into second, and now has he got the pace to catch Mr. Tom? He doesn't need actually, well, he does need actually to catch Tom to take the race win. Tom picks up another penalty, however. Keki doesn't. Then it's game on for the race win.
Yeah, and of course, for the Constructors' Championship, where AlphaTauri will pick up no points and Keki then with a race win, that would be really good news in the Mercedes garage.
Yeah, and both AlphaTauri and Mercedes, obviously, both of their drivers, both their main drivers, I should say as well, Jensen and Macho, both out of the race. And that is big complications potentially, as Mercedes at this stage will be picking up 18 points compared to AlphaTauri, who are scoring absolutely nil points, as Davydenko was on the back of Charlie through the S section, to the inside line. The Spaniard, is he going to risk it to the inside? Oh, he does, to the inside line, and in the end, brilliant stuff. Forced him a bit off track, but still, I think the move is going to be there. Charlie's going to fight back to the inside line, though, and in the end, catches the front wing end plate to the inside line as well. Watermelon nearly goes on the back, and maybe we'll get the first 3 wide scenario of the night. Felix on the back of Name Changer, flying down the straight as well, as Charlie on the back of Davydenko's going to get this job done, pulls the outside line and gets the job done, and Felix is through on Name Changer as well. He is eventually through into fourth, and Charlie, little bit of a weaving action there, saying, what on earth were you doing diving down the inside of me at turn 12?
Yeah, that could be, but for now, Felix has this race win.
Yeah, Felix does indeed have this race win at this stage. Still, other things have happened in the race. We've still got 2 laps to go. Anything can happen in Formula 1. It probably just might, as Tom leads the way. Keke there in second, Ruti there in third. We are on lap 34 and 36. 2.5 laps to go out on track. Davydenko again under pressure from Watermelon. Watermelon on the back of these guys as well. Jensen, by the way, reaffirming what I said.
Davydenko round. Sorry I cut you off there, James, but Davydenko is round, and this will mean 1 point for AlphaTauri still.
It will, and that doesn't change anything in terms of the constructors. Which is a shame. It is a shame, but you never know what could happen in the final 2 laps of this race. Jensen, by the way, just to come back to that point, 2 focus on challenges at the moment. Why I've been off the pace everywhere else than Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I see, and he's. I think he's qualified for F1 Esports challenges. I've certainly seen him top 8 somewhere, so I think he's qualified. If not, he will probably qualify anyway, so that's why he's at the race. Down in 14. Name changer though on the back of Felix. This is still for a race win potentially between these guys. They're still within 6 seconds of Tom. Name changer and Felix. I wouldn't have thought of this race, this battle for P4 and P5 to be potentially a race winning battle out on track. And Name changer needs to fight for this.
Yeah, they are just being consistent, picking up no penalty, which is really important here around Mexico. And Felix, he is closing into Ruti as well. Ruti is already on 17 lap old medium tyres. And Keke, he's almost in the DRS of Tom.
And Name Changer's lost a bit of time through the S section, now 0.8 of a second to Felix, and it looks like that move is not going to happen as Chippy is through on Davydenko, fattening himself up with that move into P12. Davydenko there in 13. I will eventually stop with the chip puns, don't worry. Tom there leads the way from Keke in second. Keke using up that battery, and Keke, to be fair, in the second half of the race, he's on full lap pressure tyres. That can amount to about 20% extra in terms of tyre wear. I don't think it's going to be around that. It's going to be around 10-12%, I think. But Keke doing a phenomenal job. He has absolutely taken this race by the scruff of the neck. And in the end, he's going to come up short. In the end, though, we could be voting for Driver of the Day. I'm not sure who we're going to give Driver of the Day to, but Felix on the back of Ruti looks interesting, and he's picked up a 3-second penalty. Felix has picked up a 3-second penalty, and the gap between Name Changer and Tom is now what we have to focus on. And it's 4.6 seconds. 4.6 seconds. If Name Changer doesn't lose a second and a half on this lap, he is going to win the Mexican Grand Prix.
Wow, what a final lap we have here with Felix picking up a penalty. But Tom, he will arrive soon in the final sector and picking up the race win on track. Keke picks up another 3-second time penalty.
And Name Changer's fine through the S section, so that's okay. But the gap is going out. Tom really needs to push if he wants this race win. Through the final couple of corners, I think he's going to come up short. The confetti is flying. Maybe not for him, but certainly will be for Name Changer. Through the final corner, Tom will go. 0.7 of a second, there's a spinner. I thought it was Name Changer, but Tom has finished to win in Mexico. Keke in second. Not for long, because Felix there in second. Name Changer, though, takes the win in Mexico. On penalties by 0.6 of a second in the end. Tom, another lap, it would have been different. I am absolutely certain of that. Tom in the end is second. Felix there in third. Thrilling end in Mexico. But Name Changer takes the win at the scene of one of his greatest triumphs, actually, in FRL. He's won around here before. Name Changer takes the win from Tom there in second and Felix there in third. It was a pretty topsy-turvy final 2 laps in terms of the penalties.
Yeah, we had a really good race here in Mexico. Actually, Charlie, he picked up 10 positions to finish in P6 at the end of this race.
Yeah, did a phenomenal job. Did Charlie down there in 6th position. Watermelon 7. Davidenko's just stolen fastest lap of the race, just to boot as well, right down the back of the field there. I think he does pick up that extra point though, out on track. But today's name changer who takes the win, Metisi, Veal Hammerlinen, NLR name changer, you name it, he's been there, he's done that, and he takes the race win in Mexico. And yeah, he absolutely took that race by the scruff of the neck, and in the end he just didn't have the pace. He didn't have the pace or merit to win the race, but because of penalties, he takes the race win, and is possibly the most jumped up gym member I think I've ever seen as well. So the Alpine takes the top step of the podium, and in the end, the crowd on the left-hand side looking absolutely delighted with name changer winning in the background of shot. The mechanics are certainly more happier than the stewards on the left-hand side, but name changer takes the win out on track, and in the end, it was deserving.
And I think the people who had the finish flag at the start of the race we saw in the grandstand, they are really happy also.
They preempted the result. That's what happened. They preempted the result. They knew that he was going to win out on track. So from 7th on the grid, name changer takes the win in Mexico, albeit on penalties. But look at the consistency of the fastest laps. 1:17.777 from Tom, 1:17.773 from Felix. That is how consistent they were in terms of lap times. Kaki in the end, his second half of the stint, came absolutely alive. If he really dumbed down on the penalties, he would have won that race. Ivor there in 5th, with Charlie there in 6th, Watermelon in 7th. Charlie from 16th on the grid up to 6th might be actually getting driver of the day this week. Ruti there in 8th, Bunty there in 9th, Zayril there in 10th, Pelly in 11th, Davidenko, there in 12th, Chippy there in 13th, and then DNFs, Jensen, Macho and Marco, all DNFing right down at the back of the field. But name changer takes the win, Tom in 2nd, Felix there in 3rd. Shall we try and get the guys in?
I think so. I think we have to join the F1 group party then, actually.
Oh, do we? Oh, right, hang on. I need to figure out how to do this. I was hoping somebody just set it up in the first place. But yeah, I'm going to have to... Hang on, view of the parties. What's this? Oh no, I don't want to join somebody in Gran Turismo 7, and it's not Ball Boy. Messages. Yeah, I'm just going to have to leave the party, aren't I? Good. I literally don't have a clue what I'm doing, so there you are. But yeah, we will get, of course, interviews in very soon indeed. Jesse can go and set up that party. That'd be fantastic. And then I can obviously join as a result. But in the end, we did take that race win from Mr. Metisi, Mr. Hammerline. And of course, Charlie's already joined the party, so we will get in on the act as well in terms of drivers that are going to join.
and I hear angry Charlie about Davidenko.
Angry Charlie about Davidenko? Oh god.
Yeah.
See,
if he's angry, he's not getting driver of the day.
Only happy people get it.
Only happy people get it, yeah. Only happy people get a cookie from James. So there we are. We are waiting for drivers to join, which I'm hoping they haven't joined Discord, because we have not conducted anything on Discord tonight. But we will speak, of course, to the guys in chat when they decide to join. I'm going to give them a little bit of time to join. But Jesse, obviously, reflecting on that race, name changer taking the win. In terms of that, penalties in Mexico really add up at the end of the day. And in the end, it was perfect from name changer's perspective. Didn't take a penalty within him, and in the end took the race win.
Yeah, good win for him, of course. No penalties on Mexico. Well, normally you see almost every driver getting a penalty, which we saw also again tonight.
Yeah, definitely so. Obviously, I'm assuming people are not joining the Discord. I can certainly see nobody in the Discord, which is good. So they can join if they do want to. But I'm going to start off the interviews with the man who in the end finished in P6, and that's not if name changer joins. It is of course Mr. FRL Charlie, and
Ivor was there. and he's ahead.
Was he?
Yeah, he was P5.
Oh, he was P5. Oh God, was Ivo P5?
Let me check quickly.
Ivo P5.
Yeah, Ivo's in P5, Charlie in P6.
Ivo's in P5. Goodness me, sorry, Ivo. I'm absolutely living the will to live. But we'll speak to the man who finished in P5. In the end, it was Ivo, and Ivo, in the end, you just simply did not have the pace out on track tonight. But the consistency came in second half. The safety car helped you as well. Talk us through it.
Yeah, in my restart, yeah, I had a really good start and up to P4, but I knew that people who took at the start were a lot faster, so yeah, after a few laps they all overtook me, and then after that I know my pace was, yeah, I think the slowest of the field, but yeah, I just tried not to get a penalty and spin, because in the S I was really slow, because I was just taking it safe, because in other leagues almost every race I spun a few times there, but yeah, then I played for mediums, and a few days later the safety car came out. That was good for me because I didn't have a penalty, and then after that just drove it to the line, and the rest of the race nothing happened anymore.
Yeah, and in the end, P5 I think is a really solid result because you started further up the field as well. I think you started in P8, so you lost a couple of positions off the race start. But talk us through that safety car period. That safety car period definitely helped you and Charlie out.
Yeah, for sure. Because yeah, after the pit stops, then I was, I think, I know, behind David. And then I know 30 seconds behind the leaders or something, and yeah, the maximum I could get then was P8. And then it was a safety car, and I knew I could get in maybe top 6 or top 5 because I didn't have a penalty. But yeah, if the safety car came around lap 30, I think, yeah, then maybe it was higher, but yeah, in the end I'm happy with P5.
Yeah, P5 though I think is still a solid result at the end of the day. Jesse, any questions?
Of course, next week, Abu Dhabi, the final race of the season. How are you looking to that? And of course, in terms of next season.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi, yeah, the track, I'm much better there than here in Mexico, and I hope me and Watermelon can get P3 in constructor. But tonight there were 2 really fast Red Bull drivers, but luckily for us they didn't score as much points as we would expect, so yeah, there's still hope for the P3, and yeah, for myself, Abu Dhabi is a good track for me, and next season I hope I'm gonna be in F1 again, and then yeah, I hope I can get a win. It will be really difficult with this grid, because yeah, half of the field is faster than me, but we'll see.
Congratulations on your P5 finish then, and hopefully see you next week.
Yeah, thank you for commentating again.
No problem.
You are very welcome indeed. And now we will move on to the man in the end who finished in P6. I don't think anybody else has joined, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just double check. Yeah, nobody else has joined. So we will speak to the man who finished in P6 in the end, and that is Mr. FRL Charlie, who's, I think, just gone.
No.
No, you're here.
Yeah, no. That wasn't me. That was Jesse or Ivo.
Oh, I just heard some shouting in the background. I thought it was somebody getting shouted there, but there we are. Yeah, P6 though out on track. Obviously, from P16 start, must be happy.
Yeah, the safety car was probably not timed the greatest, because Jensen crashed literally the lap I pit, so if I just stayed out that one more lap, then I could have possibly been ahead of Ivo, which, honestly, if I was ahead of Ivo, I reckon I could have stayed ahead of him the whole way, because he was saving the battery, and it was a bit difficult to stay with him. But with David behind me as well, wasn't very helpful with him. Also forced me off the track at one point. And yeah, the reason was to show my displeasure to him, because that it was a bit annoying. Because if I saw me getting a warning there, then I would have been extremely annoyed, because that would have gotten me penalised. And then he forced me off a second time, which I knew that at that point I wasn't gonna take it easy on him. And once I saw him spin, I was like, yeah, that's your karma, I reckon.
Yeah, well, certainly from his perspective, I think the racing was over-aggressive from Davydenko's perspective. Again, I literally said in commentary as well, I don't know what on earth he was thinking, and the weaving was for utter displeasure. I'm absolutely sure of that, and you confirmed that, so that's good. But obviously, that safety car period didn't really help you out, to be honest. Obviously, I think you were P8, if I'm not mistaken, in the safety car, so in the end, P6 out on track. Looking back on it, do you think you could have got a little bit higher, or do you think P6 is pretty much the best you could do?
I reckon I could have gotten P4 to be honest, because I knew that, because I had the stream up looking at all the penalties as well, and I saw that pretty much everyone ahead of me in Ivo had penalties, and once I saw the gaps at the end, I was like, oh, if David didn't force me off, I could have probably got Ivo on that lap, and then possibly be ahead of Keke, but obviously Keke would have been a bit more difficult to beat, but I can't be disappointed with P6 because that should hopefully help Aston Martin to get in P5. I think in constructors we're probably 6th again now, but I'm hoping to try get them in 5th.
Yeah, which is, I think with the constructors obviously overhanging as well, it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen into the final race of the season with regards to the battles up ahead, and obviously with the Aston Martin battle being tied, I think, with 3 other teams as well, on the same amount of points, so that'll be interesting to watch out for. Jesse, any questions?
My classic final question, how are you looking forward to Abu Dhabi next week, of course, final race of the season?
It's not really a track that I look forward to so much on this game. I'm not a fan of the... I prefer the old layout, if I'm being honest. I don't like the new layout, because in the new corner in the 2nd or, I think, 3rd sector, I seem to spin there a lot more often, which is quite annoying. So, if they brought the old layout back, then I'd be pretty happy, but I just gotta settle with this for now.
Congratulations on your P6 finish, and hopefully see you next week.
And we will now speak to the man, of course, who finished in P9, who I've literally just saw sneak in to the party. It is Mr. CPI Bunty, and Bunty in the end, P6, keeping up with the front runners as well. Where on earth did it all go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I was on for a podium at one point. I think so many people were on for a podium, so it feels like everyone could have had a slice of the pie, but I feel like, man, I feel like I really missed out. Yeah, I qualified P6 right at the death, which was nice, and then I think I had like lap 1 instant with like a Ferrari and a McLaren, but Mexico, you're going like 4 wide into turn 1, I just got sandwiched between everyone, so I had nowhere to go. But apart from that, it was then fairly straightforward. I think I didn't put up much of a fight on the likes of Keke and like Ruti, and kind of let them breeze through. And then yeah, on that safety car, I know what's his name change of a 2nd, and with penalties I was actually 3rd. So with 7 laps left, it could have been a really nice result. But I think it was behind Felix, so I would have been P4 at that stage. And then I let him go in sector 2. I think I had a snap and dropped out the DRS, and DRS obviously so powerful around Mexico, couldn't get back in because they're just so fast at the front. But then a few corners later, obviously got a penalty, and then a few laps off that, got what I thought was a double warning penalty, so I wasn't too sure. But yeah, with a few corners left, another error. They all came at the end, which is so annoying. But yeah, with a few corners left, I just kind of lost the car and spun. So dropped me from, I don't know, it would have been maybe around P6 if I got my penalty removed, but I'm not sure looking back if it's really a penalty or not. But yeah, definitely bottled. We're looking where Charlie and Evo went, and obviously Keke had a penalty ahead, could have been P3, P4, but you know, it's just how it is. But I'm pleased to at least be in the points, unlike Liza Jensen, which was quite surprising. So I guess we take the points we can get.
Yeah, Jensen was too busy doing F1 Esports challenges in the last week or so that's why he crashed out for sure, and obviously got caught, I think, on the curb and just spun in the middle sector. But you said it there, it was obviously a great performance up until that point where you spun, up until the penalties as well. You were competing with the top guys up front, and you should be very happy, I think, with that performance, and obviously taking it forward into the rest of the season, and indeed more immediately into next season, which is my question. Into next season, where do you think you're going to be? Because I think you've got exams and A-levels coming up, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 18, so obviously in England that means A-levels coming up, so I've cut down to all the leagues but FRL, so I don't know how I'll fare next season. I mean, I'll obviously put in, I'll be turning up to the races, so I should be able to do a little bit of practice, but I mean, ignoring obviously exams, last season was my first on wheel and F2, and obviously move up to F1 and like P10 or so around in the drivers. But yeah, I mean, if I can keep having these kind of consistent periods more strung out, like in China I think I was up there, Imola obviously got a podium, and if I can draw them out for like a few more races, then I don't know, maybe my target in terms of like driver wise would probably be someone like name changing next season, which I mean I wouldn't be thinking of way back when he was doing challenges, but yeah, it's hopefully next season I'll be fighting, not maybe with the top guys, but like top of the midfield. I think that would be my aim, and more consistently obviously, and trying to get rid of the errors.
Yeah, that seems like a decent goal, I think, to have, certainly moving forward in FRL next season. Jesse, any questions?
Of course, we end the season next week in Abu Dhabi. Are you looking forward to that one?
I mean, there's nothing on the line for me at all, so I mean, I could go AWOL. I'm not sure, I might pull out a weird strategy or something, do something a little bit out of the ordinary. The track, it's yeah, it's nice. I know in qualifying the gaps will be quite small, because I think the track, the nature of it just means everyone's, there's not much time you can really gain or lose too much, so hopefully a close quali might put some strange results up there, so I could maybe qualify high, but yeah, I think I go all right around there. I got a decent result in PSGL, so hopefully that's a good omen for next week to end off the season well. Yeah.
Hope to see you racing again then next week.
Thank you. I hope to see you guys in the Crunchy Box next week.
Oh, we'll be there. We will definitely be there indeed, and hopefully back up with OBS as well.
Oh, so you were streaming normally?
Yeah, streaming normally. I had a bad stomach a little bit earlier on, and it cost me a little bit choke, because I was going to use the last hour to set up the stream and everything properly, and yeah, other things happen. Let's just put it. So yeah, decided best course of action just to do it on PS where I know I can stream.
Well, I hope you feel better, but yeah, thanks for commentating again.
You are very welcome indeed, and I think nobody else has joined us, so I think that rounds off the interviews for Indeed tonight, and a big thank you of course to Charlie, to Ivo and to Bunty for joining us for the interviews. As we have already said, next week it is the finale of Season 16 of FRL, and that of course is in Abu Dhabi. And Jesse, with Abu Dhabi obviously coming up next next week I should say. It might be coming up next season, who knows? But next week, what can we expect? Because we have still got that Constructors' battle going on. We have got a very, very good battle for second going on in terms of the Drivers' Championship. That is where it's all going to be decided.
Yeah, of course. Also, DRS is important in Abu Dhabi, I think. So yeah, I hope we will get a good race like we had here tonight in Mexico, with many drivers battling, of course, in the front, midfield, and maybe at the back even.
Yeah, definitely so. And I think certainly with Abu Dhabi in mind, and certainly with what else is going to be happening on Friday in mind, it might be just drive to survive for Yeah, there we are. That is probably the best pun I think I've done all season. But yeah, there we are. We are finished for tonight for FRL F1. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. We, of course, are going to be back next week with the full complement of graphics. That is if my stomach doesn't go awry again. But we will be back with full complement of graphics, and hopefully we get to see the battles out on track with the constructors and indeed the drivers for round 12 of the championship in Abu Dhabi next week. But for myself and from Jesse, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.